Good way to start, actually. Gripping the hands and pulling the shoulders back as far as possible. Twisting. Brilliant. Hands behind and rolling the head. Back to prayer for a sec. Middle fingers aligning the spine and directing the thymus up. Let's try a bit of the butterfly. So just moving from leg to leg. So we're moving to develop like the natural elasticity of the body, what John called juiciness. So one leg stretches and wants to pull back, and one leg compresses and wants to bounce back. Sink into a leg, and I'm sprung out of it. So it's the leg as spring. So this is very much Dr. Chi's form. Remember how bouncy it was? Using the bounce to maintain that feeling of buoyant levity. The pulling with the leg, really, it's like a target. It creates a target. So when I sink into one leg and bounce out of it, there's no telling where I'm going to land. And so the other leg pulling guides me towards it. They're the two very different uses of the leg. But the bouncing out of the leg is very much a storing of energy and then something exploding from within. And the pulling with the leg, it's almost like I'm being pulled by the ground beneath the foot rather than the leg itself. So it's the spirit within and the spirit outside, without. So they say, I think it's in Zen, that the spiritual path is like a series of steps. They liken it to stepping stones across a river. And each stone's just a little bit too far for you to reach with your foot. So you have to basically leap. You have to leap from stone to stone. So there's a point between each stone where you're weightless, you're off the ground, you've got no contact with the ground. So there's always that feeling as you pass through the middle. Almost, like when you're on a swing and you change direction, it's like part of you is still going up, but your body's coming down. So there's that feeling of floating as you pass through the middle. And that's what Dr. Chi had par excellence. Okay, so let's just bring it back to riding horse. When we're standing still, we don't want to freeze. So there's this feeling that I'm slipping side to side. So what I'm presenting to the world is very much an average. It's the middle that doesn't really exist. I never actually settle in the middle when I'm moving. I'm either in one leg or I'm in the other leg. So this thing of settling in the middle is what we call double weightedness. And in a way, that's the real enemy. What tends to happen when you freeze into stillness, then you contract into ego. Ego is always smaller than the body. It's like a tension that pulls together to create this sense of identity and oneness. So really, is all we're trying to do is just relax and fill the body. The body is our model. The body is all we have. We're just trying to relax and fill it and just see, where am I just a bit tense? Why don't I want to come into this leg as much as this leg? Is it because my knee's damaged? Filling the body. This is Blake. It's very much William Blake. For him, God was man. God was the image of man. God made us in his image and likeness. The human body, when it's properly relaxed into and properly filled, then that's all we need. Let's breathe it, but all the time, we don't want to get into this mechanical. So all the time, there's this slipping and shifting, and one hand's moving slightly before the other. And there's always this twisting and turning going on. As soon as you start moving, you slip into some expression of single weightedness, either by bringing the weight into one leg more than the other or by turning. Trying to get out of the mind, or what mind has become, and into the body. What does the body really want to do? The body before the mind has imposed an idea upon it. And that is so difficult nowadays. Pretty much the same, but now just turning it into that one where we dip down and pick up the beach ball. And trying not to look down. Try and use the legs more than the back. It really doesn't matter how far down you go. Feeling that as you go down, it just gets more and more open here. So we don't want to let the knees collapse in. Winding it down. Feel it now. So this stationary posture is now full of movement. The body feels really melty, like you just have to trust the body because you no longer have any idea of it. You can't feel a hardness within it upon which to rely. And so it's all you can do. It's very much like being drunk, when you're wobbly and just having too much wine or whatever, and everything's swimming. So the alcohol simply takes away the inhibitions. It stops you from being able to close up and hold yourself together. And that's what we're trying to do in Tai Chi all the time, is just let that go and just trust the body. And that's the form. So when you do the form, it's very much slipping into a different mental space. You're going into soul rather than mind, and you're just moving with this energy that's churning through your body. And you've got no idea where it's going to take you. Just bring the feet up a bit so it's not quite so double weighted. And now the figure of eight, but really trying to get like 100% of the weight in the leg so that the other foot can come off the ground quite easily. What we want to feel now is that as I sink into the leg and sort of enter it from the front going back, then I get this relaxation, this emptying. I empty into the leg. I empty myself into the leg. The leg fills. Otherwise, I'd fall down. I want this feeling of, oh, can I really relax and just allow my hips just to swell open? So it really is trusting the leg. So this is where outside edges become really important, because if the knee has any sense of collapsing in, the leg won't let you do this, and the hip won't be able to trust the leg, and so it won't open. I'm sinking into the leg, sinking into the leg. So as I sink into the leg, I want to feel the hand. So the hand that's on the same side as the leg that's filling, wanting to make this circle. This happens in the form all the time. Sometimes we bring the hand up and it becomes the top of the ball that we hold. But often it's simply encouraging the sacroiliac just to open a little so that energy can spill out. I feel like it's the stepping stones on the river. Yeah, so I come into this leg, and it's like this circling here sort of packages me up. So I sink, I get packaged up, and then the package is thrown across, and then it sinks into this leg where it can open up again and repackage. So I want that feeling of sort of floating through the middle, or hovering as I pass through the middle on the way to the other leg. Because that's the levity. That's what brings the hand up on top of the ball. And that's what I encounter the other person with. I touch them with my levity. And my gravity is simply there so that I can generate levity. Same thing, but now just bringing up the foot. So remember, we used to do this thing of leaning over. So whatever you need to do, just to get 100% in the foot and relax all around here, so that I'm really emptying into the leg, and then the leg is really projecting up through me and into my spine. And even though we've frozen over the foot, there's still the flow. I'm still sinking, and that is generating the rising. And it's that rising that's keeping this hand up in the air. And just feel the mind that's required to maintain the equilibrium and stop it from just cancelling out and becoming dead, dying. So it's the mind that encourages life. That's the divine aspect of ourselves. That's the amazing thing about life, is just how readily it comes into being. Given the right chemical conditions. So something should cancel these two forces out. So the gravity and the levity should really just cancel each other out, but they don't. And that's like the life force. That's what we have to cultivate in our own mind. It's like a real enthusiasm. It's our divine aspect. Playful lightness. And in a way, that's what faith is. I mean, faith is not of gravity. Faith is of levity. It's just a buoyancy, a cheerful buoyancy that we have to become skilled at cultivating. And then we just want to start bringing the foot towards the other knee. So if you just stop a second, just put the hands over the knees. Then you can feel how the hand just naturally takes the shape of the knee, because the hand is naturally concave. The palm naturally wants to contain things. So when we work with the foot, we want the same feeling in the foot. So I bring the foot up, and it can the toes can sort of wrap around the knee. This is really important, but it's so difficult. This really does require a different mind than the one we use to engage the material world. It's very much to do with keeping yourself enclosed, keeping the mind under control, so that the spirit can show us the way. Let's try just going backwards and forwards, but with this feeling as I come into the foot and really relax down into the leg, using the hand again with this circle here. So I'm going back, and then this hand just circles, and then I come forwards into the front foot, and this hand circles. I want this feeling that when I come into a leg, instead of doing this and tightening up in order to make me more stable, I want that feeling that I've just completely let go and really trusted the leg. I've really trusted the leg, but I have actually swollen to come into the leg. The openness I maintain as I sink into the leg enables the gravity, enables me to really get through the leg, but also it enables the leg to come up and buoy up my heart. So both the gravity and the levity are inhibited by tension. So I sink into the leg and something comes up and the heart is buoyed. Then other foot. And just feel the two legs. I need to be able to get into one foot on either side. Otherwise, if I'm double weighted, then the feet are just too far apart, and I then need to bring tension into the sacrum to sort of hold it all together. Otherwise, I'll fall down between the two legs. So there's a sense that each leg is keeping me buoyant, keeping me hovering in between them. And so it's interesting that the sacrum fuses in late adolescence. It finishes fusing in late adolescence. So it'd be interesting to see if, for some reason, the individual hadn't developed an ego, that real sense of tight identity, whether the sacrum would fuse as much, as completely. I'm just trying to dissolve that feeling of the center strong and melt down into each leg. And then the center just has this feeling, it's just like an empty space, but it's full of beautiful energy. Let's bring it up. The toes spreading. Big toe pressing down, little toe trying to escape out and up. What they say is the Chinese, they like this, neither this nor that. So the legs are neither bent nor straight. But there's a sense that they're sort of bending on the outside. They have the appearance of bentness, but within they're actually straightening. And when we relax that pulling into ego, that's when the energy swells out into the wings and that energetic body that John was exploring. It's enough just to have a body. Just look at that Blake's picture of Albion, the naked guy with the head is the sun, really. Blake was a real visionary. He was a naturist. He loved being naked in his garden down in Vauxhall. I remember Pat saying, you know, her favourite thing is reading Blake, you know, Blake's long prophetic works. And I just said to her, do you understand it? Because it's really difficult. And she says, no, not at all, she says, but every now and then a line just rings a bell, and she says, and it's like an explosion.